Good morning, this is Trevor, and today we are working on blind SQL injection with out-of-band interaction. So there's a SQL injection vulnerability in the tracking cookie. Asynchronously and has no effect on the application response. So we can't tell what's vulnerable by using time delays because it is asynchronous. We can't tell by how the application reacts because that's not going to be possible. So we have to do out-of-band interactions. To solve the lab, we're going to cause a DNS lookup to burp collaborator. All right, well, let's, we have to use burp collaborator is what this is saying. Let's get started. So I'm gonna open up the lab. Please remember to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments how I'm doing, if there's anything you want me to cover. All the good stuff. Well, and bad stuff too, if you have that. Oh, you know what? I don't have this going through burp. Let's hit that, hit refresh. We'll go to burp and we'll do this one. We'll send that to repeater. All right, so this is where we need to put our payload. And as far as payloads go, these are in the SQL injection cheat sheet. We have DNS lookup and DNS lookup with data exfil. So let's start down here. This one only works with Windows. This one is a lot, and it's all stacked. Let's start with this one. Declare pvarchar. It's stacked too. Set. Let's try that. We're gonna do bump. We need to, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, it's plus. We need to concatenate that. We'll put a thing there and we'll put a thing there. Select your query here. So we'll just do select A, B, C, D. That A burned me last time. So we're going to do A, B, C, D. And then here's where we need our burp collaborator subdomain. So let's do that. We're going to go to burp collaborator client, copy to clipboard. Paste that right there. Then we're going to highlight all this. Let me make sure that plus is the right concatenation for Microsoft. It is. Highlight all of that. Control U. Send it. And poll. We do not get anything. All right. Let's try this one. So this is an XXE exploit. And Oracle, I want to say it uses bars the same as Postgres from Dual. Let's check that. Come on. All the way up. Oracle and Postgres. Yep. Bump and that. And we need the thing here. Your query here. Select A, B, C, D from dual. We're going to highlight all of this, Control U, send that. We don't get anything. All right, did I? Mess up. There's also, if we look at, there's also DNS lookup rather than exfiltration. I'd rather start with just exfiltration, but if it's not going to work, I mean, we can try this. Select your query or into out file. We need a space will work. We will put that and that. We're going to change this to copied clipboard to that. And select your query here. Select A, B, C, D into out file. That should work. Send that. Well, this isn't going so well. Let's try Postgres. There's a lot of stacked queries. Do they have... So the question I have in my mind is if they are all include carriage return. It looks like they do. Declared, so I need to create or replace function F returns void as $. See, I think a single quote should be, or a semicolon should be there. We do need it all in one line. And then we need our burp collaborator. Here. And let's look up. Select your query here. A, B, C, D. Create or replace function F returns void. So this is we're just going to use this as a stacked query, which means that I'm going to do, oh, you know what we haven't been doing? Because I'm a giant idiot. We haven't been commenting out the last part. Let's go back to the first one we did. This one is Microsoft. Let's comment out and put a space. Well, we don't need it for Microsoft, but let's try that. That one did not work. This one's Oracle from Dual. I'm putting plus sign just so it is already encoded as a space. Send that. It's taking a second, which is interesting. And then, oh yeah, look at that. Quest to collaborator. And there's our string, ABCD. Sweet. So this is our payload here. This is going to be a fast one then. Let's copy this. Control-Shift-U. Copy. And paste it here. And let's write our script. This is for number 15. And it is called what? Lab out of band. Lab out of band.py. Grab our template. We do need, so if you notice that we had to have the collaborator domain. So let's do this. Let's add a field here to parser args. So let's copy this. Paste it. Let's change this one to parse args collabs. I'm sorry. Parse args collab. And then we'll add an argument. Let's be collab. Collaborator domain. We'll just leave it like that. So this, if we use this one, we get, we need to provide an extra parameter, and it will be the very last one. So it'll be the name of the script, whether or not we want to proxy, the URL of the lab, and then the domain of the collaborator. So let's use that here. Parse args collab. Let's build our shop. Shop equals shop args dot URL args dot no proxy. Let's build. Oh, we need to get the tracking ID. So we've done that in, what was the last one we did? Done that in the last few, right? Let's just try this one. Yeah, this is good. Shop. Oh, we're not logging in, so we don't need a session. Let's grab this here. That'll have our tracking ID and session token. Now we need to build our request, which there was a time delay. This one. Didn't we just do that? We just built the request right here. This is what I want. Exploit cookies. And then build the request, send it, and then check if solved. There's a lot of extra stuff in this we'll take out, but so this is where we put our payload. That looks good. I'm going to just remove that. Argnal proxy. Well, we can put log.info. Sending exploit. End time we don't need. This we don't need. This we don't need. And then we check if solved. So our exploit here is going to be bar, and then this gets replaced by this. All right, so we have single quotes and double quotes. So in this situation, what we need to do, we need to escape these. So this is our first double quote. We're going to just put a backslash there to escape these in Python. Whoops. Select ABCD from dual. This is where we need the args dot, I forgot what I named it. Let's put this until we check what it is actually named. And then here's another double quote from dual. Looks good to me. So what will this actually be called? Let's check utils. It's just going to be called collab. args.collab. Now let's make this line smaller so it's not so large. The way we do that is we add a parenthesis. I'm going to remove the F just for now, and then we'll put them back in just a second. So here is the start of the XML. I'll break it here. So I'm going to put a double quote and line break. Doc type. I don't know. We'll put one there. I'm not good at picking the best spots for these. I just pick it where it kind of makes sense to me. Whoops. I don't want to delete anything. I just want to add. And then at the end, I add the ending parentheses. So a bunch of strings, starting, quoted strings, nothing on the end, in parentheses. All of this Python's going to combine together to be one long string, but I don't get errors that the string is too long, and it makes it easier to read. I'm going to write the file that's going to have it, print out pretty print, or format it so it looks better. Once that's done, I'm going to add an F here. We don't need one here. We don't need one here. We do need one here and not there. And that's because we're substituting in these two argument or parameters or whatever you want to say, tracking ID and args collab. That'll make our exploit. That looks good. We're going to send it. We're going to check for no proxy. And then we're going to solve it. I think that's it. Let's make sure our lab is alive. It is not. Okay. Come on. Come on. And then we're going to do Python lab out of band. First, we need the URL of the lab. And then next, we need the collab domain. Whoops. Control-Shift-B. And that should be it. Let's send this. Checking if solved. Checking. Uh-oh. Pull now. Let's check what we sent. Here's what we sent. Oh, you know what? We may need to URL encode this ourselves. Let's copy this and check it against here to compare it. So I'm just from dual Python dot I'm saying it's good. The only thing is it was not URL encoded. So let's do that on our own. To do that, we need from URL. Let's do import. No, from URL lib import parse. Or should we just do import URL lib dot parse. Let's do it that way. And then here, exploit, where am I? Right here. Exploit parsed, not parsed, encoded equals URL lib dot parse dot quote exploit. That should encode it. Just to double check, let's print this and cover all of this. Just so you can see, it is all URL encoded, exactly what we want. Now, instead of doing exploit, I need exploit encoded. Let's try that. Hey, there we go. So we just did need to URL encode that, and we got it solved. So what we did, we first grabbed we did a request to the URL so we could get the tracking cookie and session token. I'm not sure that this is needed, but you know, it's like one line to add it, so might as well. Once we did that, we built out our exploit. Our exploit is an Oracle out-of-band data exfiltration payload. The reason I say it's data exfiltration is because we are actually running a query and exfilling that right here. So basically this is an XXE payload that it is extracting and then running the XML against, and that it's calling a system right here. It's defining that type of variable system as remote, and then right down here we are calling that and then it's appending the results from this query to the domain that we provide, and then it's trying to get that. And that's what we see in here when we look at both the HTTP and the DNS. We'll see that it's trying to get the results from our query dot the rest of the domain. And that's it. We send that as the tracking ID cookie, and we do just end that using a single quote and then concatenate the tracking ID with our payload. Remember to use from dual on everything. Even if you Oracle from dual, you can't have too many of them. Of course, I'm kidding. You probably can. I just haven't run into a case. Anyway, you request.get, and then we check if it's solved. That's it. Hope you liked it. I like out of band. This is good stuff. I don't find a lot of occasions to use it because there are lots of limitations and firewall rules and stuff that prevent this. But it is cool if you can get it working and to be able to extract data. Like, let's say if you have a choice between a blind, time-based blind query or an out-of-band interaction, choose out-of-band because you can get the results, quick. You just can't get a lot of text from it, but the text you can get, it takes 10 seconds, where the blind will take 10 seconds per character. So big difference in, the amount of time it takes to extract data. That's why I really like it, is because between, time-based blind and this out of band, I'm going to choose out of band every time that I have the possibility. Time-based blind doesn't run into the, issues with firewall and that out of band will. But anyway, hope you like this. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Goodbye.